Welcome to a new edition of See What's On, Central Maine's radio arts magazine, brought to you by Community Productions and Mix 107.9. It's Sunday, September 25th, 2016. I'm your host, Dick Dyer. Each week, we scour the region and highlight the new and the unique arts happenings wherever they might occur. From Bangor to Lewiston, from Farmington to Rockland, from lounges to formal theaters, from galleries, festivals, libraries, movie houses, and maybe even your own home. If it's on, it's on. See what's on. Today we sit back down for an exclusive interview with Hobie Hubbard, keyboardist for Sawyer Brown, for their upcoming show at the Waterville Opera House this Friday, September 30th. And we have a visit with cast members from the upcoming show, Young Frankenstein. First off, let's return to our interview with Hobie Hubbard about his upcoming show. So, you talk about being a longevity band. And again, I don't know whether that was you or one of the other guys in the band, but in my research, I appreciate that. And you specifically cited Charlie Daniels, all of Charlie Daniels and Nitty Gritty. Both acts I was fortunate enough to help produce at the Opera House in the last 3 years, so people can relate to longevity bands like Charlie Daniels and Nitty Gritty, and now you've accomplished that. You are now a longevity band in the minds of so many fans out there. Why is that so important to you?
I think that because on the partially selfish side is because we love what it is that we're doing. So who would want to stop doing that? Mm-hmm. But I think we looked at bands like Charlie and the Dirt Band in those early days and recognized, man, when you work with them, you still feel this enthusiasm. They've got this giant body of work to choose from. And it just felt like, oh, man, to be able to have that would be just this enormous blessing. To keep being able to give someone something when they come see you live or listen to a record, we just don't take that for granted. That feels like something to work toward and also a blessing all at the same time. So now we're at this place where we've got multi-generations that come see us. There'll be younger people singing along to songs that were recorded before they were born, which lets me know, A, that they were raised properly. And it's a blast to get to see that.
It sounds exactly what I would expect to hear from you guys. And again, I feel like I'm getting to know you from doing some research about you and look forward to meeting you at the show. So they're going to hear songs from, the early days.
Absolutely.
Step by step, right through to 6 Days on the Road and Thank God for You and so on. Anything new in the works? Anything?
We'll do a couple of things that are from the last album that we did.
Okay.
We are, I think, all great believers that when you come to a show, people really do want to hear what they know. So we try to get as much of that in there as we can. We'll alternate some stuff where we'll just throw in some stuff that's just fun to play, depending on the day. But we also know, man, there's a lot of songs that we'd probably get, pelted with rocks and garbage if we didn't play. So you want to make sure you get as many of those in there as you can.
Well, we've ordered everybody to keep the tomatoes and,
Well, there you go. Well, then we're already to the plus column. Yeah.
And I'm sure that you'll respond to this crowd. They're very excited to see you. So, obviously you care a lot about music and musicians doing, and you've spent a lot of time thinking about how to make yourselves a longevity band. What do you have for recommendations on, we have a big country crowd around here in Central Maine. What do you have for recommendations for a band that's trying to make it?
I think don't be afraid to work hard and don't be afraid to be yourself. Often it feels like sometimes the kiss of death is when you try to figure out, okay, I'm going to chase after some demographic survey version of what someone is looking for. Just go out there and be you, because I do believe an audience knows when someone's being true to themselves. And that may be that you look at George Strait. He's not selling you anything he is not. He is that guy. That's who he is. But if you weren't that and you thought, well, if I put on a cowboy hat, that'll make me George Strait. No, it won't. It'll just make you a guy in a cowboy hat.
That's
I think
a great
go
point.
out there and be yourself. We have sort of been hard-headed about that from day one. We were going to be who we were, and we were going to live and die by that. If it worked for you, great. If it didn't, it's okay. You'd find something that you did want to hear. And just focus on that. Get out there and do that work. Work as hard as it takes to make it happen, because someone else will be working hard to get there too. So make sure you give it your 100%.
Great words to live by, and one might say that would lead to longevity.
Well, you can certainly hope.
Anything else that you'd like to make note of going into the show?
No, we're looking forward to getting there. I love the sound of an 800-seat opera house. I love audiences when you can really see the whole crowd. That makes it a blast for us, so we're looking forward to getting there.
Yeah, well, they're ready for you. So we'll look forward to seeing you on the 30th.
We'll see you soon.
Okay, Hobie, thanks so much.
Thanks so much, man. Appreciate you taking the time.
Not a problem. Don't forget, Sawyer Brown will appear this Friday night at the Waterville Opera House. Tickets are still available. And don't forget that the show opens with Maine's own Kevin Libby, who you've heard on the show before. Right now, let's take a listen to one of Sawyer Brown's biggest hits, 6 Days on the Road.
Well, I pulled out of Pittsburgh, rolling down the eastern seaboard. I've got my diesel wound up and she's running like never before. There's a speed zone ahead, but alright, I don't see a cop inside. 6 days on the road and I'm gonna make it home tonight. I got 10 Ford gears and a Georgia overdrive. I'm passing little white lines and my eyes are open wide. Just past a Jimmy and a white, I've been passing everything in sight. 6 days on the road and I'm gonna make it home tonight. It really seems like a month since I kissed my baby goodbye. I could have a lot of women, but I'm not like some other guy. I could find one to hold me tight, but I can never make believe it's right. 6 days on the road and I'm gonna make it home tonight. Well, the ICC is a checking on down the line. I'm a little overweight and my logbook's way behind. But nothing bothers me tonight. I can dodge all the scales alright. 6 days on the road and I'm gonna make it home tonight. My rig's a little low, but that don't mean she's slow. There's a flame from her stack and the smoke's rolling back as coal. My hometown's coming in sight. If you think I'm happy, alright. 6 days on the road and I'm gonna make it home tonight. 6 days on the road and I'm gonna make it home tonight. 6 days on the road and I'm gonna make it home tonight.
Abby somebody.
Abby somebody. Abby who?
Abby Normal.
Abby Normal.
I'm almost sure that was the name.
Are you telling me that I put an abnormal brain into an almost 7 foot tall, 4 foot wide gorilla? Yeah. Open the door! What's that?
It must be the villagers.
Ah, damn it! We cannot let them in. We must hurry.
All right, it's kind of
Igor,
fun. Yes, master.
are you hurt?
Only my feelings.
Young Frankenstein, ladies and gentlemen, playing at the Waterville Opera House.
Do we have to talk like this? Because I will.
Yes, we do.
As you can tell, I don't need to do anything in this interview.
All right.
Joining me, if you haven't figured this out by now, are some of the cast members from Young Frankenstein.
Yay.
No, Frankenstein.
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 In the studio with us are Jacob Sutherland, Ori Lessing, and Tim Croce. And we'll talk about each of their characters as we get into this interview a little bit later on here. But all of you have been performing for some time at the Opera House. I've seen and worked with you in a number of shows. What attracted you to this particular show, Young Frankenstein, Ori?
It was Tim, quite frankly.
Tim?
Yeah, Tim has this magnetic personality, and everyone wants to work with him. And I got this chance, and I thought, I get to finally work with the great. No, for me, it's all about it's all about the community. Mm-hmm. I am not a professional actor. I didn't get.
You play one on TV.
I play one on TV.
Okay.
I started out as a classroom teacher, a low-paying classroom. No, just kidding. I'm a very well-paid classroom teacher, and I sort of stumbled onto community theater because a number of years ago they did Spamalot, and I was drawn into the possibility of doing Monty Python, and just met incredibly wonderful people. And
that was my very first show at the Opera House, in fact.
That's right. That's
Monty
right.
Python. Yeah, I wasn't in the show, but
and right before I was cast, Tim also auditioned, and I remember I was in a local restaurant, and Tim came up to me and said, "I can't believe you auditioned. You were amazing. I've never seen you before. I'm so excited that you're going to be in the show." And I said, "I don't know if I'm going to be in
Paraphrasing,
the."
but pretty close.
What?
he's paraphrasing. So we have this to blame on Tim.
Yes.
No,
Sure.
Tim.
Sure.
So what's your version of this, Tim?
I did a bit in high school, but when I got to college, I didn't do it for about 10 years. And years later, I'm at the same local restaurant that Ori was at, but at a different time. And I ran into my old drama coach, Jeffrey Watts, and he just got me back into it. And I've been doing it for 5 years now, straight.
Absolutely. And Jacob, you still hang out with these
Well,
guys?
it wasn't because of Tim.
No, it wasn't because of, okay.
Thank you.
It was because of me. I
Of course,
admit it.
obviously. Well, I did a couple of Waterville Opera House productions when I was in high school, going to Messalonsky High School, and then I actually went off to college to pursue a degree in theater, and I've returned home now. I've graduated from college with a BFA in theater with an emphasis in musical theater.
Ooh.
And ever since graduating, Waterville Opera House is a familiar place. I had worked with a few of the directors and music directors that are still doing a lot of the shows, and got to meet a whole new cast of regular actors that I've come to know and love. And this will be my fourth Opera House show since 2014.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
Fantastic. So by now, most people realize that the Opera House is not an equity house, which basically means that, as Ori has already pointed out, you are not professional actors being paid to come into the Opera House and act. This is very much community theater. Part of the mission of the Opera House is to make sure that the theater is available to all and for people who aspire to be acting. So, Ori, you're a teacher. Tim, you work
I work at the Department of Transportation as a cartographer.
a cartographer. And Jacob?
I'm a college graduate with a few part-time jobs who loves theater.
So,
If you are interested in hiring Jacob Sutherland, please email us at jacobsutherland.com.
Not a real email, but
No, I made that up.
You made that.
Don't email there. You can, but
but you
he
could
won't
probably
get it.
find them at Tim's favorite bar.
Probably.
Yes.
So, anyway, well, let's turn a little bit to this show. We joke about it, and of course, one of the favorite lines is Frankenstein. But Young Frankenstein, a Mel Brooks show. For those who are not familiar with this particular show, of course, this is the musical adaptation of the movie, right?
This is a musical based on the movie, and the movie is a comedy parody of Frankenstein and Bride of Frankenstein, the old 1930s horror movies. So it's a copy of a copy of a copy. No, it's not a copy.
It's not a
It's
copy.
an extraordinary. It's a great show.
It's Mel Brooks.
It's Mel Brooks, and Mel Brooks wrote the musical, adapted the words, which were originally written by Gene Wilder, with a very talented writer named Thomas Meehan, and the music was actually written by Mel Brooks, which is pretty incredible.
as it turns out, Mel Brooks is quite the musician.
Yeah.
yeah.
And a lot of people would know. I didn't know that,
The harmonies are really intense in the show. People who come see the show will be surprised at some of the really complex, beautiful harmonies in these sort of silly, wonderful songs.
Yeah, some of the songs in this show that I get to sing are some of my favorite songs that I've gotten to sing really in any show that I've been in before. It's a joy to be able to perform in this show.
It's definitely a workout, too.
Oh, yeah.
There's
yeah,
a
yeah.
lot of dancing in this.
A lot of dancing.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
And that's a surprise to me, too. Well, now, coming back a moment, you studied musical theater,
Yes,
Jacob.
yes, I have a degree in musical theater.
All right. So are these guys any good?
Oh, they're so good. They're so much fun to perform with. Like, it's all, especially with a show like this, with a Mel Brooks comedy, it's all about the energy that you bring and the comedy and the physical comedy, as well as the music and the dance. And everyone in this show, through the rehearsals we've had so far, just really bring it. It's so much fun, and getting to share the stage in this kind of show is something that I love to get to the opportunity to do.
It's serious work, but it's sandbox. I mean, it's a tremendous amount of play and fun. And, you know, it's a joy to work with these guys.
We'll return with Jacob, Ori, and Tim, the cast of Young Frankenstein, right after these messages. Welcome back. You're listening to See What's On Mix 107.9. You can hear recent shows that you may have missed on SeeWhat'sOn.com. That's the letter C, What's On, or on Facebook.com, Arts in Central Maine. Please take the time to send us your story ideas and calendar listings for upcoming arts events. Now back to our interview with 3 members of the cast of Young Frankenstein, opening in October at the Waterville Opera House. And I'm sure you guys would join me in encouraging, as you've all done, other people, if they have any passion whatsoever
absolutely.
in acting,
Yes.
to try out for shows in the
I've
future.
seen people pretty late in life do it for the first time, and they get bit by the bug pretty hard.
I had done literally no theater since sophomore year of high school, when I was in Damn Yankees and I played a security guard. And I still remember my line from that play. It was, "Just a second, lady." And that was it. I didn't sing anything. That was my only line.
And that was the only line.
And then, you know, I did
good.
it. I decided it wasn't for me. And cut to just, you know, cut to me as an adult, no singing, no acting experience, and just absolutely loving the experience. And I think people discover that, and you have such a wide variety of different people with different talents and different abilities that come in and create something wonderful.
Well, let's talk a little bit about creating something wonderful. Jacob, you play the part of Frederick Frankenstein.
Frederick Frankenstein.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't mispronounce it.
No, mispronounce it.
Really?
He gets very testy, folks. How did you prepare for this role?
Well, when I found out that the Opera House was going to be doing Young Frankenstein, immediately I was like, oh, I have to audition. It's such a fun show. I actually had been in a separate production of Young Frankenstein in college during the pursuit of my degree. And from that experience, I knew how fun, how high energy a show it was going to be. So I knew no matter what, as long as I could just get some kind of part, some ensemble role, anything in the show, I would be happy because it's such a fun, high energy show. And when they called me and told me that I had been offered the role of Dr. Frankenstein, I was very surprised. And now I'm really excited, really getting into it. It's a lot of kind of escalating the energy, trying to fill the space of the theater and really commanding the space as the central doctor.
I thought you were going to say eccentric.
Oh,
doctor.
very eccentric. Very, very eccentric.
Okay.
Escalating the energy really isn't that hard to do when you have co-actors who are so much fun as the ones we've got in this show.
Okay. And, you know, and that's great. Tim, everybody's going to correct me on this because it's not Igor, it's Igor.
No, it's Igor.
Igor.
It is
Yeah,
Igor.
so that's a character. How do you get into Igor? I mean, all I can think of is Marty Feldman. But when I think of Igor.
I was raised on Zucker, Brooks, and Python. So,
Okay.
I was obsessed as a kid, even back to first grade where I didn't even get half the jokes. I would say them and get in trouble.
And this isn't a little bit of an adult overture kind of a show.
Well, yeah, it is.
little-
I said to a lot of people, there's quite a bit of innuendo in it.
Innuendo.
It'll fly over the kids' heads and hit the adults smack in the forehead.
Fantastic.
Yes.
So how did you prepare for this role?
Being in front of a mirror a lot and just
Okay.
twisting my face as much as I can. Like I said, Marty Feldman had quite the rubber face, and he had quite the bug eyes.
I've been impressed that you've been able to grow this hump. I mean, if
It is,
people
yeah.
can't see
Yeah.
listening
You
on the
can't see,
radio,
yeah.
but there's this amazing hump growing out of his back.
It's kind of concerning, but
Yeah.
it works.
Just
Yeah, it
been
works for
sleeping,
the show.
sleeping in a chair for a while, and it seems to develop.
That's
how much I care
method
for- yeah.
acting. It's Robert De Niro.
I love
gains
my
weight.
craft. I love my craft.
anything for the part. And there will be therapy after the show.
Oh, most likely.
Oh, yeah.
I think so,
Yes, yes. I hope quite a bit of that.
Otherwise, we didn't do our job.
Yes.
And from a classroom teacher to the monster.
That's pronounced Moonster.
Moonster.
I feel
okay.
like everyone gets pronounced their names differently. I
Okay,
should too.
Moonster. And
Yes,
that's also
yes.
the cheese that you serve at the Opera House.
Yes, that's true. Yes, I've been eating a lot of Munster cheese in preparation to play the monster. I was very excited when I was offered the role of the monster. I hung up the phone and immediately called back and said, "No, wait, you mean the monster, like the Frankenstein monster?" And they said, "Yep." And so I'm incredibly excited. I've been certainly trying to develop. It's a complex character for a creature. you have to play the character in such a way that he's very lovable, but he's very violent, and he's sort of wild and out of control, but at the same time, he needs to be nurtured. He needs to be cared for.
Why do I think that this is typical for an elementary school teacher?
Yeah, there you go. I do spend a lot of time, shouting at the kids. Sit down, that sort of thing. But,
Running straight through walls.
no, if any of my 5th grade kiddos are listening, I just adore you all. Shout out to you all, my 5th grade kiddos.
Now sit down.
Yeah, now sit down, please. No,
I see you.
But
You in the back.
I'm doing a lot of shouting and yelling and stomping, which is typically what I do.
exactly.
I'm a shouter and a yeller and a stomper. So,
And he's not, folks. He's not. Now, we're going to set up a couple of scenes. So when we come back from our break, we will do a couple of different scenes with these guys from Young Frankenstein. This segment of See What's On is brought to you by SBS Carbon Copy, located on Main Street in Waterville. SBS is a family-owned business and has always been a strong supporter of the arts and community development. Visit them at mainprintingservices.com.
all right, folks, we're gonna do a scene from Young Frankenstein now. We take you now to the castle, and we join Frederick Frankenstein and Igor, as Frankenstein is a little puzzled why the monster wasn't so calm when he woke up for the first time. And so let's go to that castle right now.
Now, Igor,
Yes.
may I have a word with you, please?
Yes, Master, I always have time for you.
Sit down, won't you?
Oh, thank you.
Oh, no, on the chair.
Oh, thank you.
Now, Igor, that brain you brought me, was it the brain of the late Hans Delbruck, scholar and a saint?
Not exactly. No, I dropped his brain all splat on the floor, so I took another one. Anyway, Al Delbruck's brain was small, too many ridges on it. I got a way better one, twice as big, smooth, not a wrinkle on it.
Good. Now we're getting somewhere. So, could you tell me whose brain I did put in?
You won't be angry if I tell you.
I will not be angry.
Abby. Somebody.
Abby somebody. Abby who?
Abby Normal.
Abby Normal.
I'm almost sure that was the name.
Are you telling me that I put an abnormal brain into an almost 7-foot tall, 4-foot wide gorilla? Is that what you're telling me? What was that?
It must be the villagers.
Oh, damn it! We cannot let them in. We must hurry. Igor,
Yes, master.
are you hurt?
Only my feelings.
Young Frankenstein, give him a big hand. If you're at home, just start applauding. I know, maybe not. You probably sound silly if you
Keep
applaud.
your hands on the wheel.
Yeah, keep them on the wheel.
Please, drive carefully. Okay. And we'll shift gears now. And what do we want to set up next?
I don't know if we have anything to set up next.
What are you in?
I'm sort of
really, yeah.
it's hard to put. My role is incredibly physical.
Okay.
I can certainly grunt and growl, but I think in order to, I'm going to be interesting, and so listeners, you will get a chance to really see. If you've ever wanted to see, well, let's just say that I'm going to be wearing prosthetics that will be quite fun. So. Yes,
Talking about gloves.
I'll be wearing gloves. The whole illusion of the monster will come from the gloves.
Okay.
No, wait, I'm not going to be wearing gloves.
Let's try something else. What is, without giving away the whole show, what do you think is one of your favorite lines or skits from the show?
Oh, my favorite line. Actually, that might be not one for the radio.
Okay.
But my favorite scene, and I'm not really in it that much, is the Roll in the Hay scene. That's my favorite song. I just think it's just hilarious.
Yes.
But Jacob and I, we actually have a pretty energetic song where we meet together for the first time, and it just goes nuts.
My favorite thing, I think, it's kind of a toss-up. I really, really like the scene where I get to be introduced right near the beginning.
Yeah.
Because it just blasts off out of the gates fast and exciting and energetic. It's the scene, the song called The Brain, where I'm teaching all of my college students about the wonder of the brain and how it's the best organ in the entire body. And it's just so much fun. There's a moment where I get to just list off a bunch of famous scientists. I do you can call me Copernicus, Kepler, or Newton, compare me to Freud, and I'll feel highfalutin. Call me a Darwin, I love that man's theory. Call me Pasteur and watch me get teary. Say Madame Curie, that would be the best. Call me a Rorschach, I'm up to the test. I really light up when you call me Edison. Call me an Ehrlich, I like that man's medicine. Call me Marconi, that wireless wow. Call me Pavlov and I'll bark like a chow. Call me an Einstein and that would be fine. Call me a Tesla, I wouldn't decline, but to call me a Frankenstein would be insane. 'Cause I love the brain. And then I sing.
I like it.
So that's a lot of fun. And then I really, really like the song where we get to bring the monster to life because it's this whole sweeping, creepy, but like high energy, beautiful song where everyone's bringing the monster to life with their voices. And we've got the table and we've got the monster. It's great.
Yes.
Great harmony and everything.
And my favorite scene is the scene where the two children who have been misbehaving are amazed when I come in with an umbrella floating in, singing just a spoonful of shit.
Yeah, that's a great scene. That's not.
I like that one, yeah.
Yeah,
You're so graceful.
Yes, just a spoonful of it's just frightening the children. It
is fun to frighten children.
Full disclosure, that scene does not appear.
As you can tell, folks, the show, which opens October 21st at the Waterville Opera House, is Young Frankenstein, featuring a cast of zany folks, all locals from Central Maine area. We look forward to that and hope you get out and get your tickets soon for the Waterville Opera House, www.operahouse.org or 873-7000. Gee, it's funny how I remember that.
Yeah, it just came right off the tongue. It's beautiful.
From the classics to new releases, the Waterville Opera House is a theme for you.
I wonder if they still use your voice.
All right. Great, guys. Thanks so much for coming in.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
You want to do anything else? I mean, I don't want to cut this off. But
Could we do a little putting on the Ritz? What do you think? Or is that, is that
yeah, we can
spoiler?
do like a tiny bit of put on the Ritz.
Sure.
That's like the iconic,
Yeah,
part of
yeah.
it.
Put on the Ritz. All right.
Cool.
I don't know B's lines, though. Hold on. I got to find that page.
B. Tyler is playing our Inga, and she is amazing.
She's fabulous.
incredible.
Just wait till you hear her yodel.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. I don't know, B. I'll look forward to that.
Sounds
All right.
good.
Here we go.
If you're blue and you don't know where to go to, why don't you go where fashion sits? Different types who wear a day coat, pants with stripes, or cutaway coat, perfect fits. Dressed up like $1 million trooper, trying mighty hard to look like Gary Cooper. Super duper! Come, let's mix where Rockefellers walk with sticks or umbrellas in their midst. Yeah.
That should give you a taste.
Thank you so much. Thanks for coming in today. Fantastic. We'll look forward to seeing the show.
Thank you very much for having us.
Thank you very much.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Take care. Well, that's our show for this week. We'd like to thank our guests, Hobie Hubbard of Sawyer Brown, again opening at the Waterville Opera House this Friday, September 30th. We'd also like to thank Jacob Sutherland, Jorge Lessing, Tim Croce, and the cast of Young Frankenstein. That show opens later in October at the Waterville Opera House. I would also like to say a special thanks to Gatsby for technical assistance in producing this show here on 107.9 The Mix. My partner Gary Poulin and I hope you reach out to us on Facebook and visit our website at seewhatson.com. Remember, that's the letter C, whatson.com, and share that with your friends. We look forward to seeing you next Sunday for more features about the arts in Central Maine. That's it for me. Hope you enjoy the rest of your Sunday, and remember, if it's on, See What's On.